lot going on in our world right now. A lot to say, a lot to talk about. It's always a great moment to pause and think about things and look at what the Lord is still doing, though. We have Jesus Christ still sitting on the throne. Don't live in fear. Don't put yourself in that place. Put your mind to the Lord. Read, study. Keep yourself there. Don't allow the world to bring you into that and into a mind that is full of terror and terrorize you with things that aren't true. Because Jesus is alive. He's still sitting on the throne. He's still next to the Father. And He is coming back for us, folks. So you just remember that. I want to say, if you're enjoying what we're doing here, please take a moment, hit the like button. We appreciate that. Leave us a comment. If you got a comment about the topic today, please share that with us. We'd love to read that and respond. And share it out with your friends. We appreciate that very much. I also want to, on a personal note, say happy anniversary to my parents. My dad here, him and his lovely bride, my mother, have been married now for 59 years today. And Mom, if you're watching, happy anniversary. I love you very much. It's always a great pleasure. I get to be involved in the ministry with my dad. We've been working together for quite a while. And on the other side of it, my mother is a very, very good, great pianist, organist, and I play percussion and drums, and I get to play music with my mother, which I enjoy very much. Great pianist, especially when it comes to gospel music. She can flat out play.
Yes, she can.
So, and it's been a great pleasure working with my dad all these many years and talking and sharing and being part of RAF Ministries. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Folks.
Thank you for the kind words.
There's a smokescreen out there right now.
Yes, there is.
Dad and I talk a lot about this. We discuss, politics, economics, religion. Most of all of this is a smokescreen for what is happening underneath. We have been terrorizing people in the earth for a long time. Mankind has been terrorizing.
Oh, yeah.
Because it allows him to get to where he wants to be, to take the opportunity to create for himself what he believes his existence should be in the earth. We have to remember the Genesis narrative, right?
Absolutely.
Take a few minutes. I encourage you. Dad wrote a couple of booklets. They're on our website, rafministries.org, or you can go to thefaithloop.org. Go to the Faith Loop, go to the library. There is a couple of pamphlets that Dad wrote, small booklets. One is the Adam Syndrome. The other is the Genesis narrative. And read these booklets. It talks about what we're saying here and what the mindset of man is right now. The Adam Syndrome is run amok, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. What we see in our world today is no different than what we've seen down through the ages. Political moves, governments, kings, dictators, Caesars, czars, whatever you want to call yourself. Of course, czar was just Russian for Caesar. We've never got away from the Caesar complex in my mind.
I think Joe
anyway.
Biden has one.
Yeah. And but all of these things come from the garden.
Yes.
The one thing that the adversary wants to do and does do is bring oppression on mankind. He hates mankind for whatever reasons. I don't know. I wasn't there in the beginning, so I don't know that. Doesn't tell us. But he has a hatred for mankind. And he wants to suppress men. He wants to hold men in bondage in whatever way he can. The governments of the world many times are influenced by him, in my opinion. You can have your own opinion, but I think they are.
Right.
I think they listen to the wrong voice, and out of this comes this kind of oppression and government. Why is it down through the years, down through the centuries, we see this? Governments come, governments go. Dictators come, dictators go. But it's always the idea is always suppression of the people, to control, to make everybody do what they want done and what they say. And if you don't, then they kill you. They put you under the threat of death. On the other side of that, here's Jehovah, here's the Lord saying, all I want you to do is treat each other right. Don't kill each other. Don't steal from each other. Don't bear false witness against each other. Just don't do that. Just live right among yourselves and worship me, look to me, and honor who I am, and then you can do what you want to do. Live like you want to live. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to come and destroy you. I'm not going to do anything like that as long as you do these things. And it wasn't just a matter of something we do to him. It's what we do to each other. You don't destroy one another. And this is what we do in our world all the time. We destroy one another.
Well, as I said this, we were talking about this the other day, and we were talking about the commandments, right?
Yes.
And I said this, and and as Dad said, we all know don't steal, don't. We have laws from dating back to who knows when about these things, right? So, to me, the interesting part is we always forget the first four things that are written there. We don't even pay much attention to those things.
No.
Idolatry, imagery, all the vanity, taking the Lord's name in vain. And we've changed that to just a swear word, which isn't really what that means at all. And we don't even focus on any of that, because if we were to focus on the top four, the bottom 5 or 6 would take care of themselves.
They would.
They really would. See, that's part of our problem. And it's the same smokescreen that we're dealing with here. Dictators, as Dad said, it come and go, come and go, come and go. What's lying underneath? Right now, we're dealing with something underneath of all the politics, of all the religion, of all the economic situations that is happening underneath, and most people don't know about it. Most people aren't paying attention to it because we have deluded them into the wars, the terrorism, the domestic terrorism, oh my gosh, they're socialists, no, they're Marxists, no, they're progressives, no, they're capitalists, these guys are bad, that guy's good, this guy's evil, that guy's good. This is our mindset today, and it's a smokescreen, folks. And it has to do with man continuing to do the same things that Adam set in motion from the beginning. That's as simple as it gets. And I know that sounds a little far-fetched maybe for you, but look, I'm going to read this to you. Everybody remembers, well, if you've read the Bible, you remember Nimrod. You know about Nimrod from Babel, Tower of Babel. And we look at this, we have it's 9 verses, 10 verses. It's very small. But this one passage in the 6th verse, it says, "And the Lord said, Behold, the people are one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do." This is where the Lord confounded the language. And I've said this was a cataclysmic event, and the people are one. This is where we're headed. We talk about it. This is where the concept of the New World Order, one world government, and things like this. But it's more than that, folks. It's not about government. See, this is where we have to understand what's happening in the world around us. It's not about government. It's about what we've imagined ourselves to be as a being. The Adam syndrome realized this is what Nimrod was trying to do. We are going to live outside of what Jehovah made us to be, and that's what it becomes. That's as simple as it gets.
Yeah. Well, when you bring it down to the simplest equation, it's what Jesus said. Love your neighbor as yourself. If you would do this, if you would just do, this would fulfill all the law and the commandments. In other words, what he meant by that is he'd do away with them. If we could just love one another, love the Lord our God with all our heart, and love each other as we love ourselves, then there wouldn't be any reason for police forces. There wouldn't be any reason for laws. There wouldn't be any reason for courts. There wouldn't be any reason for prisons or jails or anything like that, because it's the ultimate truth. It's the ultimate truth. And this is all the Lord was trying to get us to do. And you're right. We ignore, first of all, we ignore Jehovah.
Yes.
We won't accept him. We won't believe in him. So that trickles on down to, we're not going to believe what he said either. No. So here we are. We're in a world of chaos and turmoil, and it has been since the beginning of time.
And folks, I want you to understand something. I really believe this is, and if you go back and read the booklets, especially the Genesis narrative in this, you will see, we talk about this, what is being said right now. And the scripture says it, in the last days they will call good evil and evil good. We understand that. But the thing that we're dealing with here is something Jesus talked about. If the tree is bad, it cannot bear good fruit. And if the tree, but no matter what we want to try and do with it, how can that happen? Well, this is the problem. And this is what sits at the top of this. Everybody, including religion, and this is where Christianity's fallen into this, and every other religion of its kind. It says that we're fighting for the good because those guys are evil. They're this, they're this. We could stop abortion if we could make a law, if we could get the right people in there to make the law. No, you wouldn't. No. I'm going to tell you that right now. No, you won't, because they have murder in their heart to begin with. This is what Jesus said. We can't see. It isn't. If there was a law, Paul said, written that could give life, then righteousness indeed would have been by law or instruction. And that's all we have is a list of instructions. Abortion, they're allowing that. They're instructing people that this is okay to do. It's okay it's okay to abort a baby. That's all it is. You're given an instruction to say it's okay. We're not going to stop you from doing it. That's what a law is. Well, Jehovah said not to murder. That's an instruction as to this is what you shouldn't do. And why? Because we were created in his image and his likeness. But this is where we miss the mark. That's what the word sin means. This is where we miss the mark, right?
Absolutely. And we don't recognize things because we don't have the right instruction.
Right.
Without the right instruction, you can't recognize something. For instance, if you saw a math equation and you knew nothing about math, you wouldn't know whether it's right or wrong.
Correct.
You wouldn't be able to figure it out. I mean, is that answer right or is it wrong? Because I don't know nothing about the problem.
Right.
So it's the same thing when he said that Jesus said a good tree bears good fruit and a bad tree bears bad fruit, and you can't switch it around. Good trees don't bear bad fruit and bad trees don't bear good fruit. So we see the fruit of these men. We see the fruit of who they are, and yet we don't recognize it at all. For instance, Mr. Biden the other day stood in a religious cathedral and prayed for the
dignity of the unborn.
The dignity of the unborn,
right.
And yet has rescinded some orders, now allowing our tax money, to be given to other nations to support abortion.
Right.
Now, why can't people see that? He's standing there praying for and everybody's, oh my goodness, look at that, how wonderful, he's praying for the dignity of unborn babies. He wants to kill them.
Right.
He's for abortion. He's for killing children. And yet people can't see the contradiction of that. I don't understand.
I don't either.
It's just a direct...
I do understand it because we're blinded.
Yeah, because their eyes are dark.
Yes.
And they can't see it because they've bought into the darkness of this world. Jesus said, if your eye be dark, then how great is that darkness? In other words, how dark do you allow it to be? How much will you buy into a lie? A bad tree brings forth bad fruit. And I don't care how you try to dress the tree up. I don't care how you might put ornaments on it. You might string it with popcorn. You might put bells and baubles on it and tinsel and everything else. But if it's bad, it's still bad. It doesn't make any difference how you dress it up. And yet we, in the world today, we tend not to be able to see that.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, folks. It's interesting too, as we finish up here today. See, I don't know how many people have heard of what is called the Great Reset, the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab, you're talking about Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, you talk about George Soros, you talk about the Indian Prime Minister, Xi Jinping from China. I mean, the world is involved in this, and this is what is underlying this. And underneath all the terror, all the politics, all the religious banter, all the stuff, all the war of good and evil, everybody's still eating from the same tree, the knowledge of good and evil. We're all still, religion, politics, economics, all of it is still eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Nobody seems to want to eat from the tree of life. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference, but yet we have succumbed to the seduction so much that we can't hardly break away from this fog. And when you look at this, what's happening underneath, they keep talking about reimagining and imagining what man can be. Man, look up the term transhumanism, folks. Humanism on steroids.
Yeah.
Look up the Great Reset. Look at what they're saying, and it is eerily similar to what is said here by Jehovah about Nimrod and Babel. And this is my point. We've been clouded in this idea of the war of good and evil, and underneath it, they're reimagining mankind in their own image.
Yep. Well, what's fascinating, too, is that people seem to think that good and evil are the side that can choose, because if you choose the good, then you're okay.
Right.
Well, no, both of it was the bad side. See?
Yes.
He said, don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. In other words, what that actually says in Genesis, in the Hebrew, it says they thought, the adversary told them that they would be able to decide for themselves what is good and what is evil. Yeah. Well, no, we can't do that. We don't decide for ourselves. Jehovah decided that a long time ago when he made man the first time. He decided what was good and what was not. He decided. But we have taken it upon ourselves, as Brian just said, this transhumanism. We're reimagining man in our own image, just like from the days of Nimrod. They did it then, and we're still doing it today. It's been going on for time immemorial. That we have stood in the face of Jehovah and said, we will make those decisions. We will do it. I see large Christian religious denominations changing the Bible into what they say it is.
That's right.
And the Bible expressly says certain things. It expressly says it. And yet they say, well, no, it's okay for that. That's all right. We don't have to do that anymore. That's not evil. Who told you that you had the right to decide between good and evil? Same person that told Adam and Eve? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. And this is the point, folks. We've got to think about what we're saying here and how we're moving about this. If we continue to focus on these things rather than the tree of life, what is life, what Jesus taught, what he said is true, where we are going, and not saying, well, it's okay, God loves these people. Jehovah created all men.
Yep.
Jehovah created one man.
Yeah.
And from that, man has been procreated into existence. But that doesn't change the fact that in that first thought process, Jehovah said, this is what you are to be. Yeah. I've given you life. I've given you life. Jesus came to give us life, not tell us, well, this is good, this is evil, that's...
Right.
We understand the tree bearing good fruit. That's functionality. If we understand what life is about, what Jehovah created us to be in a matter of completion, perfect beings, then we can say, this is what's true and real and right. If we continue the other way, then we're imagining in our own mind what is true and real and right. And that is against what Jehovah said.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we see so-called Christians allowing perversion, saying it's okay. Any kind of thing is all right. It's just, I said several years ago, I said, you'll see a day come when they will try to justify and normalize pedophilia.
And they have.
And just a few weeks ago, it came out. They're here. They're absolutely trying to take away the stigma of pedophilia, saying that a 2, 3, 4-year-old child can give consent. Now, you tell me. Well, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I don't think so, Dan. I don't think so. Look, folks, just the other day, and I'm going to finish with this, and we got some stuff in the show post notes that you can click on to go and see some of these things from the Great Reset, okay? But just the other day, the Pope comes out and is for artificial intelligence and the greatness of it and where it's going, because he's also part of this. Great Reset. He's very socialist in nature, he was, but it's beyond that. This is about reimagining man in our own image and our own likeness. Goes back to Nimrod. Look at this. In the show note, in the show post here, there's a link that you can click to go and watch some videos to look and see what these people are doing and what is actually happening under the surface of all the turmoil on top that they're trying to keep you involved in, terrorize you with, so they get accomplished what they want.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's about.
It's a smokescreen.
It is. So, folks, thanks for joining us today on Inside the Faith Loop. Again, if you have enjoyed what you've heard today, please hit the like button, share a comment, share something from your mind about what was said here today. We'd love to hear from you, and share it out to your friends. Jesus is the reality of life. He is life. And you need to repent of this world and come into the truth of life. That's what it's about. So we hope that you've heard that message today. And have a great day in the Lord. And always remember to give love, give life, and give Jesus.